Caitlin Clark's rise from collegiate sensation to the most financially powerful athlete in women's basketball is not just a story about talent. It is a story about shifting economies, cultural momentum, and the unprecedented commercial gravity of a single player who has managed to reshape an entire sport before her 23rd birthday. People search her net worth almost as frequently as they search her highlights now, and depending on the source, that number ranges anywhere from 4 million to 10 million. The truth sits somewhere in between, but what matters far more is how that fortune was built. Because unlike nearly every other elite athlete in the world, almost none of it comes from the league she plays in. Less than $80,000 in WNBA salary for her rookie year, and yet she became the highest-earning woman in her sports history. It is a financial contradiction that reveals everything about the current state of women's professional basketball. When the Indiana Fever selected Clark first overall, the league's rigid rookie salary structure locked her into a 4-year contract worth just over $330,000. There was no negotiation, no bonuses for star power, no escalators based on market impact. Every top 4 pick receives the same deal, whether they draw 5,000 fans or 20,000. Clark's first-year salary of $76,000 became a national talking point the moment it hit the internet. People couldn't believe that the most influential player in the entire league was earning essentially the same paycheck as a first-year office assistant. Her bonuses for Rookie of the Year, all WNBA honors, and All-Star selection barely nudged that total above $100,000. Meanwhile, Victor Wembanyama, her NBA counterpart as a number 1 pick, made more in a single week than Clark did all season. It was a comparison that didn't just sting. It sparked nationwide debate about gender, revenue, compensation, and the very structure of the WNBA. That debate intensified because Clark's value in the marketplace was obvious from the moment she stepped onto a college court. Her celebrity wasn't manufactured. It grew organically, born from nightly highlights, record-breaking scoring explosions, and a unique style of play that grabbed national attention. Millions watched her pull up threes from the logo. Millions more watched the Final Four like it was a cultural holiday. By the time she declared for the WNBA draft, her audience was already bigger than the leagues itself. That kind of reach doesn't just attract fans. It attracts corporations. And corporations responded with checks that dwarfed anything the WNBA could legally offer. The Nike deal landed with the force of an earthquake. $28 million over 8 years, with a signature shoe already in development, instantly placed Clark among the most powerful endorsement athletes in the world. It wasn't just a partnership, it was a statement. Historically, Nike has reserved signature shoe lines for transcendent figures. Now Clark joins that lineage, becoming one of the few women ever granted that platform. Her logo debuted in 2025, sleek, minimalist, interlocking CS that sold out in minutes when Nike released limited edition apparel. Even before her signature sneaker arrives, the special edition Kobe models she wears have become collectibles. Resellers flip them within hours. Young girls show up to games wearing her colors. The cultural impact is spreading, and Nike knows exactly what they have. Gatorade, State Farm, Gainbridge, Wilson Sporting Goods, and pharmaceutical giant Eli Lilly followed with contracts worth millions more. Wilson giving her a signature basketball line placed her in the same category as Michael Jordan, the only other athlete to receive that honor from the company. Clark doesn't just appear in commercials, she elevates entire campaigns. Her NIL earnings in college foreshadowed this rise, but nothing could have prepared the sports world for how rapidly she scaled. From a Midwestern grocery store sponsorship to international brand ambassador for some of the biggest companies on earth, she mastered the business side of sports before stepping into a professional locker room. All of this momentum made her injury updates a national storyline. When reports surfaced that she was seeking evaluations from different doctors and the Fever were not receiving consistent communication, speculation ran wild. Some believed she was taking control of her health with a level of independence rarely seen from rookies. Others feared the back-to-back injuries indicated something far more serious lurking behind the scenes. Groin strains, recurring mobility issues, lingering discomfort. These were all red flags for a player whose game relies heavily on quick changes of direction and sudden bursts of acceleration. The Fever insisted she would not return until fully healed, but the silence created uncertainty, and uncertainty created narrative. Fans circled August on their calendars as the realistic return window, but no one could say for certain when she would step onto the court again. During all of this, her business empire continued to grow. Clark began exploring investments, shifting from endorsement star to strategic entrepreneur. The Cincinnati NWSL expansion project became her first major investment opportunity, aligning her with FC Cincinnati and placing her among ownership groups bidding for a franchise worth an estimated $100 million. At just 22, she began positioning herself not just as an athlete but as a future business mogul. Her foundation added another layer to her rapidly expanding influence. Fundraising for childhood, nutrition, education, and sports programs had already generated millions in impact by late 2024. Partnerships with major stores allowed her to distribute thousands of books. Her deals with grocery chains funneled hundreds of thousands of dollars into Feeding America. She was no longer just a scorer. She was becoming a cultural force whose effect reached far beyond basketball. And yet, for all her accomplishments, her rookie season still felt like a battle between potential and limitation. She shattered WNBA records in assists, broke the rookie three-point mark, recorded the league's first rookie triple-double, and helped lead Indiana to its first playoff berth in nearly a decade. Attendance exploded. Ratings skyrocketed. Merchandise shattered sales records. Corporate revenue soared. And despite all of this, the WNBA's salary model ensured she earned almost nothing from the league directly. It was the clearest example of a financial system that no longer reflects the realities of modern women's basketball. That is why the union opted out of the collective bargaining agreement. They know the structure built 20 years ago cannot support the sport's new era. Caitlin Clark is the face of that movement not because she asked to be, but because the numbers speak too loudly to ignore. She generates millions in revenue and receives thousands in salary. She elevates the league but earns little from its success. She is both the symbol of progress and the symbol of imbalance. Her interview in late 2024 hinted at where this conversation is heading. She acknowledged privilege, acknowledged the foundational contributions of Black players, acknowledged that her financial success came through a mixture of timing, talent, and opportunity. But she also acknowledged a truth the league must eventually confront. If the most influential player in the sport earns her living almost entirely outside the league, what does that say about the league's financial future? Caitlin Clark's empire will continue growing. Her shoe line will arrive. Her endorsements will expand. Her investments will deepen. But the question hanging over women's basketball remains. Will the WNBA evolve fast enough to match the scale of its stars, or will it continue relying on corporations to support the players it cannot afford to pay? Before you go, let me know what you think. Should the WNBA completely overhaul its salary structure? Has Caitlin Clark changed women's basketball forever, or is she only the beginning of a new era of marketable stars? And do you believe her injury is being handled properly, or should Indiana be more transparent? Drop your thoughts below. If you enjoyed this deep dive into the business, pressure, and power surrounding Caitlin Clark, make sure you hit like, subscribe, and turn on notifications so you never miss the next documentary-style breakdown. The story of women's basketball is evolving in real time, and we'll be here every step of the way.